So this video is going to be very different from a lot of the videos that I've done because I am going to share with you a major life decision that I'm making. And this is something that I don't think I could have foreseen happening so soon, but the universe is pulling me in a direction and I cannot silence it anymore. So I'm just going to say it up front. I am not going to be practicing dentistry anymore. I don't look very old. I don't look like I should be retiring from dentistry, but at this point, this is the decision that makes the most sense for me and the direction I want to head in my career. So you're probably wondering, what is this guy talking about and why is he stepping away from dentistry? And the thing is I'm not necessarily leaving dentistry. I do plan to be around the field. I'm just not going to be in the chair clinically anymore. And I'm doing this because I'm trying to create more space in my life to be able to grow the things that are very important to me and the things that I feel can help me make a bigger impact in this industry. So let's talk about the journey that got me to this point, and then I'm going to share with you why I'm doing this and what exactly I'm excited for. So going all the way back to when I was younger, before I was a dentist, the main reasons why I wanted to be a dentist was for three things. I associated being a dentist with somebody who has time, money, and fulfillment. And the person who embodied this was my uncle. So my uncle was a dentist, and when I saw the way he was living his life, I was very intrigued by it. He didn't seem like he was that stressed. He was helping people and he was making good money. And so that's what initially got me into dentistry. And so I worked really hard. I graduated undergrad in 3 years and then I got accepted to NYU, and that's where I went for dental school. Dental school was a grind. It was not easy, but for me personally, it was a very work hard, play hard type of mentality. So I was spending long hours in the library, but I was also enjoying myself, and I found a way to have this balance while I was in school. Neha, who's now my wife, was also in New York and she was working. So the 4 years that I spent in dental school were, in my opinion, awesome. I was 21 years old, I was living in Manhattan, and I pretty much got to do and try a lot of things that people that age don't get to do. And so you fast forward through dental school and then you get to the point where I graduated, and that's where I started working in the Northeast. And so for me, when I first started working, I thought that I was going to be able to work in one practice, learn from the doctor, and just grow and become this incredible clinician. But the reality was so different from that. So the reality is I actually didn't have one job. In my first 2 years, I had 8. And the reason behind that was because every office that I worked at was a different experience. So the positive light that I see is that I saw 8 different ways to practice dentistry. So I was in between a bunch of different offices. While I was doing that, I was still trying to get better at dentistry, and I did. And I was focusing on the basic procedures. But when you're doing the basic procedures, after a while, I personally got burnt out, and that put me into a dark place. And so the pandemic hits, and during the pandemic, I take that time to just focus on myself. And I wanted to invest in myself and my education, and that's where I learned how to do clear aligners. And this procedure to me was something that was very new. I wasn't really taught it in dental school, and not that many people were doing it in the field. So I wanted to implement it at the office that I was working at, but the owner didn't let me. He said that the procedure is not profitable, and he said I should stick to referring to the specialist, and that I should focus on doing root canals because that's a very profitable procedure. That didn't sit well with me because at this point in my life, I was very passionate about wanting to do this procedure and try it out. And I thought this was a way that I could level up. And I was being told no by the practice owner. And so since we weren't on the same page, my wife and I decided we need to move and we need to change. That is when we moved from the Northeast down to Austin, Texas. In Austin, I worked at a practice, and they were a small group practice, and they were very supportive of me learning and doing procedures. They gave me a scanner so that way I could do aligners, and then they also had an implant system so I could place implants. Long story short, doing aligners completely changed my life as a dentist. This was a procedure where I was able to accomplish the 3 things in dentistry that I've always wanted to do. 1 was make good money, 2 was have more time, and 3 have fulfillment. And so when I saw all these things coming together, I realized like I need to share this with other people. So I started teaching dentists that I was working with. And then when I was teaching these dentists, I eventually wanted to kind of make it a more formal position. So I spoke with a company that I was working for, and I asked them if they could create a role for me so I could coach up the other dentists in the practices. They saw the value in it, but they didn't want to make that position for me because they wanted me to just focus on producing in the chair. That was kind of a letdown because this was something that I was very excited to do. So then my wife actually proposed that I start consulting. And I was like, what is consulting? I went to dental school right after undergrad, so I have no idea what that is or how to even start doing it. And so she helped me form an LLC, and I started working with dentists in Austin to teach them how to do aligners. A dentist that I worked with had no experience, and after working with me, he started 25 cases in 2 months. This was a complete game changer. major. And I realized that I now had a curriculum and I actually enjoyed teaching. Like, this was the next level of fulfillment for me, right? And then so I had this consulting business, and then I was thinking, okay, how can I market this? How can I do more of this? And at the time I was reading Grant Cardone's book 10X Rule. And the thing that he talks about a lot is just having omnipresence, right? And putting yourself out there on social media. And that's the best way to grow your business. So I took to Instagram, and March of 2022, I think I had like 800 followers, and I started posting reels educating dentists on how to do aligners. And then I started to consume so much information on Instagram about how do you actually grow an Instagram page. And then this lit up another part of me, and I got really excited about this. And so I started learning about hooks, and I started learning about reels and editing and making videos. I was doing all this on the side, by the way, because I was still working full time as a clinical dentist. And then the page started to slowly grow and grow. And then the next mentor in my life came in, who was Dr. Vinesh Ganatra. And he introduced me to the concept of online courses. At the time, I had imposter syndrome because I was just like, me teach a course? There's no way. Like, who am I to teach a course? But then he reassured me, and he was like, if you're already teaching people how to do this procedure, making a course is not difficult. So with his support, I went ahead and I created my first course. So now I was using social media as a way to market my course. And in addition to my paid course, I made a free masterclass, and that's where I teach dentists how to get started. If you're interested in that, it's in the description below. It's a great resource for you to use if you have no idea how to do clear aligners and you're a general dentist who is looking to start. Okay, about 6-8 months go by, and now we're at January of 2022. I leave the practice that I was at, and I joined another one. I'm super grateful for this practice because it came at such an interesting time in my life. I was looking for a place where I could practice 2 days a week and then use the rest of my time to focus on this online business that I created. And now at this time, I'm not consulting anymore. I'm focusing on this online business. I'm focusing on creating content for YouTube and Instagram. And every day I'm learning more and more about how to grow an online business. So there's a lot of things going on. I'm also married, and I love spending time with my wife. We have a dog. His name is Simba. And I'm trying to find this balance in life because I used to have balance, and then that went out the window once I created this online business. So answer was 2 days of clinical, rest of the week focusing on the online business. And it was amazing. The office was great. The team was phenomenal. It was so fun to go into work, and I can't say enough good things about it. And so I was doing this, and now in August of 2023, a couple things changed. I started to travel more. Yes, there was some leisure travel where we were going on vacations, but I started to do more in-person dental events. So I would fly to dental conferences and conventions, and I would meet other dentists. I was even speaking at some of them. And this was a way to network and grow the exposure for the program. The thing is, though, is all these trips were happening on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I wasn't able to work on the business. This was very frustrating, but I didn't realize this until a couple Sundays ago. I started to get Sunday scaries, and it was the first time I've ever gotten Sunday scaries in probably a year. And that was a red flag for me because the decisions that I've made to lead to this point were very intentional, and I've engineered this life that I truly want to live. And so the fact that I was waking up on Sundays and I was not looking forward to getting through the day to get to Monday, I didn't like that feeling, and I knew something was wrong. And it wasn't the practice because they weren't doing anything wrong. It was a very healthy work environment. And when I dug a little bit deeper, I realized that I was frustrated with the fact that I could not work and grow my online business because that is where my passion is at. And so I spoke with Neha, and we talked about it, and we looked at where we were at from a financial standpoint and what would happen if I stopped working clinically. And so the online business was bringing in a very predictable amount of money for about 8 months at this time. And I realized that there was even more opportunity if I had gone all in on this. And the money that I was getting from clinical dentistry wasn't necessarily that much. It wasn't that much when you compare it to how much time I was giving it. And so this is when we decided to make the decision to go all in. Neha supported me, Neha believed in me, and that's when I made the call. I called my boss and I told her that I needed more time to work on my online business because it is growing at a rate faster than I anticipated. I told her I was super grateful for everything that she has done for me, and I have nothing but good things to say about the practice. I put the ball in her court to let me know when my last day would be, and now I'm officially going full time with the online business. And so I want to answer the question of why now? Like, why after 5 years of practicing dentistry, why stop and why do this? The answer is because for me personally, I feel as though the universe is pulling me in this direction. So at the start of my dental career, there was so much friction, right? There were so many associateships, there were so many challenges, there were so many hardships, and I fought through them and I fought through them and I fought through them, and I kept doing it. When I started this business about 1.5 years ago, there was little to no friction, or maybe the perceived friction was very low, but it just seemed like it was almost like win after win after win after win, support, 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 just like everything everything was bubbling up and it was like meant to happen. And so I've been reading a lot of books and I've been listening to a lot of inspirational people, and they all say that the universe tends to pull you in certain directions, but a lot of people don't listen to it or they ignore it. And so I'm at a point where I can't ignore it anymore. I feel like there's so many people who I can help, and I can't do it if I'm sitting in a dental chair. You see, the power of social media and the power of content is all about reach and impact. I understand that I have a voice and I want to help other people. And the best way that I can do that is if I spend more time making videos, making content, creating products and courses and programs that can help improve the lives of other people. You see, I feel like I have a duty to serve. And right now, my community, my industry, which is dentistry, needs me to serve. And I'm ready to go all in, and I'm not looking back. So some of the things that I'm excited for are optimizing and growing my clear aligner program. I'm also looking forward to starting to see what the landscape of brand deals looks like when it comes to content creation. I have grown an audience by being me authentically. And now I want to help serve my audience by putting things of value and things that I believe in front of them to help them improve their lives. I also want to create something to help a lot of dentists out there overcome common struggles, whether it's marketing, growing their social media page, maybe even teaching healthcare professionals how to create courses. I have so many ideas and I can't wait to start doing them. I'm putting it out there as a way to just hold myself accountable. I won't do everything all at once. I'll stage it out. I'll try my best to stay focused, but I am so excited for this next chapter. You see, when I've seen other people like Ali Abdaal make this leap from their career to going full-time online, it's inspirational because I know it can be done. And I think I have so much momentum behind me right now and so much support that this is a no-brainer. And so with that being said, I hope you're ready for more valuable content from me because I'm not stopping anytime soon. If you want to follow me on this journey, please subscribe to this channel and let's get it going. I'll see you in the next video.